Good afternoon, guys. This is a video that's prompted out of puppy classes today. A few of you have spoken about how you would like to be taking your dogs out running with you. I'm going to say puppies because they're puppies at the moment. This is something that does cause us to let you know that there are things that you should be considering at this point in time. And number one was a good comment that Simone made to me earlier, was about the growth plates.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So with puppy growth plates, we need to be really mindful of where they're developing. Because I think depending on the breed, so there's a bit of variation. So if you've got a giant breed, growth plates will close a lot later. If you've got a smaller breed, they can close a little bit earlier. But I saw some fairly recent research not that long ago, and the last growth plates or the growth centres that close up is actually one of the spinal ones. Okay. And I think on average they're kind of saying that happens at 2 years of age. And then you've got the other growth plates in their legs that close, and I think some of the earlier ones will start to close at around about 6 months or something like that. Yeah. And we just got to be really mindful that when those growth plates are still open, that they're really susceptible to injury. So a lot of repetitive, like the ball throwing,
high impact, turning, sharp turning,
exactly,
quick acceleration, quick deceleration.
It's putting a lot of strain on there, and is making their puppy more susceptible to some injury in that particular growth plate or growth centre.
So is it right in saying, so at the moment, if we think about your puppies and the age of your puppies, their bones are not, and I use the term knitted, okay?
Yeah.
So their bones are not yet joined together like that. So if you've got two bones, they're more like this. And then covering that, you have got the growth plate or the growth knuckles. So if you're looking at your puppies at the moment, if you're looking at their front leg, right, you're going to see that there's this big bump at the front,
yes,
right? That is a growth plate, okay? Growth plate, growth knuckle. I'm not sure what is the more technical term of that, but anyway.
We just call it, layman's terms, that's the knuckle. And it's one of the things that we use as a guide. Like if someone asks us, how much more growing has your puppy got? I don't know about you. I look at that knuckle, because if they've still got this great big bulge on their front leg, still got a lot of growing to do.
Yeah. So, you may have even seen floating around on Facebook, there are often some x-rays of puppies, and you can actually see in the x-rays, their bones do not meet yet, okay? So they're very loose in limbs, very loose. They're going to be, a bit roly-poly all over the place and not managing their legs and limbs properly, and that's because their bones are not yet knitted. They haven't come together. So that happens at about age 2 for a lot of dogs, really.
For the last bit in the spine, I'm trying to remember if it's the spine or it's still part of the spine, but I'm trying to remember if it was the lower back area or the neck part that closes up last. Can't remember off the top of my head. Yeah. In horses it's the neck, but I'm not 100% sure about the dogs.
Yeah, interesting.
But it's also what you were just talking about, that repetitive exercise as well. When we start exercising our dogs and we start to condition them for whichever activity they're going to be doing, it's actually not too hard, assuming that the growth plates are closed, to condition the bones for that repetitive type of action. But the ligaments and the tendons take a lot longer, and they're also a bit slower to sort of be able to, you've got to be a lot more careful with those as well. So when you've got a young puppy, the ligaments and tendons are still under a fair bit of strain because the puppies are growing so hard, and then you do these repetitive exercises or you do too much, it can be a little bit too hard. But I was going to point out, because you've got on your website, haven't you, the exercise recommendations?
Yes.
I've got it on mine.
So it's on, for those of you who are watching this and you're enrolled in our Primo puppy classes, you've got access to Chris Zink's puppy exercise chart. That's in the files section. And that actually tells you what sort of exercise, how much and what type of exercise you should be doing at certain age periods of your puppy's life, okay? And surprisingly, it's a hell of a lot less than what the majority of people are doing at the moment. Some of you are also going to probably find that you're taking your puppy out for a walk shortly, and you're going to find that they're going to stop. And that may happen at about 50 or 100 metres. If your puppy stops, there's a couple of things. We'll figure out the why, okay, because there can be more than one reason for a puppy to just put the brakes on. But it could be because your puppy is saying, that's it, I'm done, I've had enough, I'm maxed out, guys, take me home, carry me home preferably, all right? Don't keep trying to make your puppy go further at this age. If anything, the type of work that you want to be doing at the puppy age, so, you know, even from 8 weeks of age, even stuff that the breeders can be doing before you even get your puppy, is the proprioception type of work. So that's the body awareness. That's the building of, you know, muscle strength, stamina, flexibility.
Good posture.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And all those sorts of things. That's what your proprioception work, or as I like to call it, body balance or body works, is actually doing. So the point of this is for you guys who want to be doing, you know, your distance runners or just running, or you want to your dog to run with you, you absolutely have to condition your dog to being able to do that. A bit like you know, especially if you're a distance runner, we didn't just start out running massive distance, right? There's a process. You had to train and condition your body to get to that point, the same as any athlete does. The same as, you know, anybody who understands the concept of there's a goal that you want to get to, but there's a process to get to that goal. So too, you have to do that for your puppy. The consequences of not doing this scare me, you know, and they should certainly scare your hip pocket. And it might be that you also may not see these problems until perhaps later in your dog's life. And again, that's kind of, I feel, it makes it a little bit difficult for us to relay to you something that is really, we're talking about prevention. We're talking about prevention of injury and old age, senior disease and arthritis and things like that, and impact on the body. So this is something that we've definitely learnt through, you know, Simone and I are now both advanced proprioception instructors, and there's only 3 of us in the country and we're 2 of them. So, you know, we're learning so much more about puppies' bodies than what we ever used to do. So conditioning, you need to condition them, guys. If this is what you want to do and you want to prevent injury, you want to prevent long-term later life damage to your dog's body, then we need to be conditioning work. So if you're serious about wanting to do this, get in touch with me and we will advise you on how you can actually go about that. Even if you're not enrolled in puppy classes, guys, let's say you're watching this through our, I think we'll put this on the Dog's Voice on YouTube, cool. Because it's a good little piece of information. And you want to find out more, you can get in contact with us and we can point you in the right direction of how you can go about doing that stuff. You were going to say?
I was also going to talk from another perspective about why people are going out and they're so keen to exercise. Now, I do a lot of work with high energy dogs. And quite often that's in the, you know, trying to deal with the excess puppy, you know, excitement and energy. So the idea is that you go out for a run and then the puppy's tired, and that works for the first day. So aside from, you know, the muscle types of things, but just say your puppy is tired after a 1 kilometre walk today, and you do that every day. At the end of the week, you're going to be doing 1.2 Ks,
exactly,
or 1.5 Ks.
You have to walk further for longer to get that same amount of tired.
Exactly, to get tired, and then the dog becomes fitter. And then, you know, if you've got the flu or something's happened or it was the bad weather, you've got this super fit dog that is now going stir crazy in a small house because it's just full of energy. It's like, you know, I was going to say, it's big like, you know, the race horses, the thoroughbreds, if you've got to give them a rest when they're super race fit, it's just like, oh my God. And so we can fall into that. It's a trap. And I think sometimes people also don't realise how much exercise a fit dog can do per day. And there's an example, a story that I often tell in my hyper to calm dog classes is my first Kelpie. So I don't know if I've told you this story before. I walked 5 Ks up and down hills from home to the adjustment where my horse was, and then my Kelpie ran around doing all the, you know, around the horses and doing whatever dogs do whilst I got the horse ready for riding. Did all that. My Kelpie came out with me. And I was getting horses, starting to get them fit for endurance. So I think it was definitely at least 10 Ks. I think it was close to 12 to 15 Ks. And we did all of that at the trot and canter, mostly at the canter, up and down really steep hills. So my Kelpie's with me. So she's done all that. Come back to the adjustment centre. She's still potting around, running around, doing all those sorts of things. Unsaddle the horse, feed him up, do all that sort of thing. Walk 5 kilometres home again.
Oh,
So
wow.
after we've done all that,
Yeah, okay.
so I get home, and the first thing my Kelpie does, she used to grab her collar
Yeah.
in her mouth, and she would literally at full speed do bog laps around the outside of the house. So this is a dog that's done well over 20 kilometres
okay, I see
in an
where you're going.
afternoon.
Oh.
Super fit, and she kept going. And I think that happens for a few reasons, because, you know, she was super fit. She did, you know, had a job to do, and part of her job was going out with the horses and up and down
Yep.
into the bush and everything. But
Yep.
that's not that unusual. I think I saw somewhere, I was talking to some of the farmers, some of these, the Kelpies can do like 50 Ks a day, and they're not walking. And so if we're trying to deal with that energy that way,
Yeah.
they just get so fit, and they can get so fit. But the other thing why I think she was also doing the speed, so I was
The
a
zoomies.
teenager, and
Yeah,
she was
yeah.
doing the zoomies there. They can get worked up, and they can get too adrenalised and too
Yep.
hyped up. So
Yep.
you see that sometimes at dogs, and they go to the dog park, and they're so amped up to be in the dog park,
Yeah.
and they do all that running around, and these dogs cannot switch off.
Yeah.
And so
see it
we
with
keep
people.
them, and we keep them elevated, and
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, I've got to be careful when I exercise and the type of exercise I do, because if I exercise at night, I'm buzzing. I can't
Just
go to
amps
sleep.
you up. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So,
Which is not different to an awful lot of people in the world, or even if you know, to relate this in human perspective, if there's something that you do in your life that gets you really buzzy, you get really excited, and then when you stop and you're like, you're still buzzing, you know, that's all the chemical reactions happening in your body, and you can't shut down easily. And I think that's exactly what you're saying happens with dogs.
happens with dogs, and then if they're younger
Yeah.
dogs in particular, or even older dogs, but especially the puppies seem to be, and I'm saying puppies, anything under sort of 18 months,
Yeah.
seem to be really susceptible to that, is because then they get overtired, and when they get overtired, the mouthing happens, and they
Yeah.
start chewing and start getting disruptive, and
Yeah.
it's a vicious circle.
Very
So,
much so, yeah, and I can see that could be massively frustrating for a lot of dog owners to not understand
challenging,
what
yeah.
actually happens. And I mean, we see it in puppy classes sometimes as well, you know. But typical class today, we had a number of working breed dogs that were unable to shut down effectively when it came time to, you know, for them to not be involved in the play interaction. And again, most of those were actually our working breed dogs, actually. So we're having to do something very different. But yeah, the moral of the story is, guys, that if you want to be having your dog go out and exercise with you, do running and things like that, you have to prepare your dog for this, okay? Failure to do so will probably mean that you're going to end up with some type of injury, you're going to end up with some type of long-term damage for your dog. You're going to end up a lot poorer at the end of the day. So proprioception work is absolutely what you need to be doing to create body conditioning to help your puppy's body prepare for the thing that you want them to be doing, and enjoy those activities with you, because I mean, it'd be great if they can. Let's get them there the best possible way and for the longest period of time that we possibly can, so that you and your mate can be enjoying that sort of thing.
Just to add on to that one, I'm watching the time here as well, but balance that conditioning work, especially if you're doing the exciting, faster one, with mental.
Oh,
Get that mental enrichment going.
Absolutely.
The way that you train them, get the dogs to think and to calm down.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think, who is it? There's, no, name escapes me. There's an agility person, and she always talks about training the balance. So if she's training a fast thing in the same session, no, I don't think it's Susan.
Yeah, okay.
It could be. If she's training a fast session exercise, she also then does a calming one.
Yeah.
So it's always the balance. It's never a
Yeah.
focus on the really fast, all the time, switched on. Yeah.
And for you guys that are in puppy classes, you're doing exactly that. See, you guys don't realise a lot of the stuff that you are actually doing. You are by default already doing proprioception work, okay? You are by default already doing a high energy activity followed by a low energy activity, because we do body conditioning at the end. We do training at the beginning. So you're actually already doing all of this. There was one other point, so the point on enrichment. So again, guys, if you're currently enrolled into our Primo Puppy courses, you automatically get our mental enrichment module, okay? You've got access to that, and that there's so much information in there. There's enrichment planners, there's videos on what to do. There's a whole segment on the different types of enrichment, because if you think it's just a Kong or a dog puzzle or something of that nature, there's a lot that you could learn. If you are not in our Primo Puppy classes and you would like to learn more about that, we actually do have the enrichment module online, and you can actually purchase all that information. I think we'll try and put the link in I think we can. So we'll put this on The Dog's Voice, which is our YouTube channel, to which we've been doing a fair bit of podcasting with at the moment, and we'll put it in there so you're absolutely able to access that information. And as Simone makes that valid point, there's got to be that balance. It's like us with our lives. We've got to find the balances in our lives of, work and life and, all the good things that we want to do, coupled with the fact that we have to go to work.
I know.
Except us, because we get to work with puppies, and it's the best thing on the planet.
Especially on the weekend.
Yeah, definitely. Doesn't matter how bad we might feel or if we've had a rotten week, it comes to Saturday morning and it's like puppies, and we're just like, So, cool. Yeah, so just food for thought on ways that you can be looking after your puppies. All right.
Excellent.
Cool.
Thank you.
See ya.